Hello, now we're on to day 3 of 1 John chapter 2. And this is today's verse. If you're somewhat adept with Greek, go ahead and see if you can translate that. And now here's my translation. And in this we know that we have known him, if the commandments of him we should keep. Okay, notice the play on know and have known. If you're done, you're welcome to go into the joy of the Lord. This is present tense. This is perfect tense. We know now that we have known him in the past and have continued to know him until now. Isn't that neat? Okay, so a little bit slower version of the translation. So, and in this we know. Okay, questions? Text them to me or type them into YouTube. That we have known him. Now, some of you, if you've not had Greek before, you might wonder, well, this looks different from this. It does. Greek mangles words. You can see some commonalities, gamma, gamma, nu, nu, omega, omega. So you can gno that this is the word for know because of gno in the middle there. And this has gno. The present stem has this iota. The aorist stem doesn't. That we have known him. I'm sorry, this isn't aorist. This is perfect, but both the perfect and the aorist have GNO in it. Okay, what does on indicate? Condition. We know that we have known him if, under the condition that we are keeping, or we should keep, the commandments of him, his commandments. Okay, so what is the meaning of this verse? Well, we're going to find out what his commandments are. His commandments turn out to be love. There's kind of a circularity here. That how do you if you love him, you'll keep his commandments. Well, what is his commandment? His commandment is that you love one another. And so we are keeping his commandments if we love one another, and if we love one another, we love him. It's a little circularity. Okay, grammar. So not a lot of complex grammar here. What kind of a pronoun is tuto? It's a demonstrative pronoun. It's a this and that kind of pronoun. Toots and touts are for this and these. Okay, the parsing of gnoskomen is fairly straightforward. Men tells you it's first person plural, we, and that it's active. The omicron tells you it's indicative, it's not been fried. And gnosko is the word, so all the letters are there. That means it's present tense. Present, active, indicative, first plural from gnosko. Next line. What kind of a clause does hoti introduce? And the winner is a noun clause when it translates as that. In this we know that we have known him. Now, can you parse agnokamen? So if you start at the end and move back, men is a first person plural, just like this, active. So it's we are doing something, or we have done something. Then we look at this connecting vowel. Well, the connecting vowel isn't fried, so I'm going to go with indicative here. So it's first person plural, and it's active, and it's indicative. Kappa alpha. Now, kappa alpha should be a cue that you're looking at a perfect tense here, a perfect active. So it's perfect active indicative, first plural from gnosko. This epsilon's a bit weird because I want to have a reduplicated gamma, but sometimes words are irregular, and this is one of them. So that we have known him. It's perfect active indicative, first singular from gnosko. Auton is a personal pronoun. We see it so often, maybe it's good to remind ourselves what kind of a pronoun it is occasionally. Okay, what kind of a clause is introduced by on? A conditional clause. And what kind of mood will follow? Subjunctive is coming, subjunctive is coming. So I know that teromen is subjunctive because on demands that it has a subjunctive. This is accusative, it's the direct object, if we should keep the commandments of him. Now, this is from tereo, and the epsilon has crashed with the omega of the subjunctive. If it had been indicative, then the epsilon would have crashed with an omicron of the indicative. And epsilons and omicrons, they crash into the form of oo. And they do get this little police line here that says, there's been a crash here. It's contract verb or crash verb. So this is indeed a subjunctive, the crashing of an epsilon with an omega in the fried vowel before men. Okay. If we should keep his commandments. In this we know that we have known him. So if you're not keeping his commandments, you haven't known him. If you're not walking in the light, you're not in fellowship with him. If you're walking in the darkness, you're not in fellowship with him. You see, this all fits together. So if you're not keeping his commandments, and this is not a legal fiction. This is not, I continue to sin as usual, but God is looking at Jesus. Not the message of 1 John at all. I have to keep his commandments. For me to continue to know him, we know that we have known him both in the past and that it's continued. It simply has not continued into the present if I'm not keeping his commandments. And as I've said, his commandment is that we love one another. So this is not a legal thing. This is a real thing. You must actually be righteous, or else you're not in the light and you don't have fellowship with him. Okay, well, and now for those of you who know nothing about Greek, the letters. See how you can do with the pronunciation of these words and with identifying the letters. So this is chi, kappa alpha iota, which means and. Epsilon nu, we've seen that several times, pronounced N. What does it mean? In. Toots and touts are this and these. So tau, omicron, upsilon, tau, omega with an iota subscript hanging on for dear life. Tuto. Gamma, iota, nu. Omega, sigma, kappa. Omicron, mu, epsilon, nu. Gnoskomen. We know. Omicron with a rough breathing mark. Tau, iota. Hoti. Some say hoti. I say hoti. Let's call the whole thing off. You say hoti. I say hoti. Anyway. Epsilon, gamma, nu. Omega, kappa, alpha. Mu, epsilon, nu. Egnokomen. Alpha, upsilon, tau, omicron, nu. Auton, although some say auton. Epsilon, alpha, nu. Eon. If. Tau, alpha, sigma. Tas is the word for the, one of the many forms of the word for the. This is the accusative feminine plural form. Epsilon, nu, tau, omicron, lambda, alpha, sigma. Entolos, commandments. Alpha, upsilon, tau, omicron, upsilon. Autu, of him. It's genitive, singular. Tau, eta, rho. Omega, mu, epsilon, nu. Te Roman, if we should keep. So that's the sentence. So putting it all together. Kai en tuto, gnoskomen hoti, egnokamen auton. Antas entolas autu, te Roman. Okay. So, verse 3. We continue on tomorrow, Lord willing, with verse 4. See you then.